welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. In today's video, I am going to give you a garden tour. It has been about a month since we planted this garden, and now we are finally out here. Things have been growing. I have direct sowed some seeds into my garden, like flowers, beans, nasturtiums, carrots, basil, dill, a couple of other things, peppers. I honestly can't remember all of them because I've just been working through it as time goes on. I did not direct sow everything at once. It has been just when I feel like it, or I feel like I need to direct sow this because these haven't popped up, something like that. The weather has been crazy since I have planted my garden. There has been snow, there has been rain, there has been wind, there has been a lot of things. So now it is time to finally show you everything that has been growing and doing good, especially since now our weather has finally cheered up and gotten so much warmer. So let's get started. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Getting started in my garden bed, I have nasturtiums. As you can see right here, I have basil, I have marigolds, and a cosmo over here. This is a straw flower that I grew from seed. I'm not sure what color it is. It might be pink or red or white or yellow or orange. I honestly don't know. And then right here are my calendulas. These I also grew from seed. Honestly, all of this I have. This is also a calendula, and then there's a calendula back there. And then I have some yarrow. So I believe this is orange and yellow and white yarrow. I have a couple of them throughout the garden. I also have lemon balm, gumfrina. I did not grow this one. I did buy it at a nursery. And then I have dill right here and right there. And then I also started more dill seeds. So I put some right here and then back there by the cucumber. I also have this beautiful tomato. I don't remember exactly which tomatoes are which. Right here, this one does say a Goldie tomato. So this one is, I believe, a slicer tomato, and it is like golden colored. That's why it's called a Goldie. And then this one is a Mara orange, and I believe this one is also a slicer tomato. And I haven't grown this one, but I think it's like pink and orange color. And then I think that this one is a cherry tomato. It might be the honey bee, or I don't know. I grew so many different cherry tomatoes, but I know that I do have a cherry tomato, so I think that's this one, but I have a few other tomatoes. And then right here, I do have a pumpkin spice pepper. And then I have a devil's tongue pepper. They're really, really spicy. I am doing my best to grow really hot peppers this year, especially for my husband, because I love to make salsa, hot sauce, powders. I love to make cowboy candy and cowboy candy jelly, or hot pepper jelly. I just love making things with all these peppers. So I do have that devil's tongue pepper. And then right here I have a Mad Hatter pepper. I did not grow this one from seed. This one came from the nursery with the gumfrina. And then I have a cucumber right here. It's a Wisconsin cucumber. It's good for pickling. And then I have a pepper right here. And what pepper? This is a jalapeno mucho. So it's just a jalapeno, but it's not as spicy as jalapenos can be, but it also is pretty spicy. So it's just like somewhere in between. There's so many different types of jalapenos. Like this is a pumpkin spice jalapeno, and this is the jalapeno mucho. I'm also doing like lemon spice jalapenos, lemon drop jalapenos, a jalapeno M. And then I have a zapodic jalapeno, I have a regular jalapeno, an early jalapeno. So there are so many different jalapenos that you can grow, because like I said, I have so much cowboy candy on my list this year. So that is why I have so many jalapenos. And then back here, I have, what is this one? I'm not sure what one this one is. I can't find the tag. It might be a banana pepper, but might also be another jalapeno or something like that. And then right here, okay, so that was the jalapeno mucho. But so yeah, that's about it for the garden bed. I also have chamomile back here. All the way along the back is some nasturtiums and chamomile. I have German chamomile, and then I also have golden chamomile. So 2 different types of chamomile, so I'm excited for those. And then I also did plant some zinnia seeds, so I will have lots of beautiful flowers hopefully growing in this bed. I also did some mini daisies and some bachelor buttons, so hopefully there will be beautiful things growing in this bed as the weather gets nicer and sunnier and the days keep going so everything can grow. But these tomatoes and these peppers are looking so beautiful and they are growing so well. Right here on the shelf, I do have my dwarf tomatoes. So this one is an orange hat tomato, and on this orange hat I already have some beautiful flowers. As you can see right there, they are yellow, so hopefully some gorgeous tomatoes will be coming on there soon. This one is determinate, is that what it is? But they all produce and go ripe at the same time, and these ones, like the bigger ones, are always like indeterminate, and then these ones are determinate, I believe. And that just means that like indeterminate means that they all ripen at different times throughout the season, the garden season, and then determinate, they all ripen at the same time, and then you can have them all at the same time. And what I find is that Roma tomatoes and dwarf tomatoes, they're all determinate, where like slicer and cherry tomatoes, most of them are indeterminate. But if you have grown some that are opposite, or you have your own feelings, then let me know down in the comments. I am still learning with garden season. Like I've said, this is my second garden season. I have helped my mom throughout many years. She has been gardening for probably 10 plus years, so she knows a lot, but she is still continuing to learn, and I am still continuing to learn. So if you have your own tips and tricks and your own suggestions and learning skills, then let me know down in the comments, because I always love to learn and hear from you all. And then right here I also have another dwarf tomato, and this one is the Tiny Tom tomato. This one is a red tomato, and then this one is an orange tomato. And then right here I do have some just green onions. My downstairs neighbor gave these to me. She noticed that I have a garden, and she ended up moving recently, so she didn't want to take them along with her, so she was very kind and gave them to me. So now I have them in my garden, and I'm growing them so I can continue to have green onions with breakfast, lunch, and dinners, and they are honestly so delicious. So right here I have my strawberry plant, and this one is my bigger strawberry plant, and as you can see, there are so many strawberries growing on this beautiful plant. They are literally everywhere, and I have harvested so many strawberries off of these strawberry plants, and they have grown so much since I have gotten them. There are so many runners, and with the runners I just bury them back inside the pot. because the more runners you get and the more that you bury them in the soil, the more strawberries that will continue to grow. So this will become a new strawberry plant when the roots go inside of there. So whenever you find the runners, make sure to do that. It definitely is a money hack because you have to pay for your strawberries. And so if you just want tons of strawberries, then just keep planting them everywhere in the soil. Do it mainly in pots, because if you put strawberries in a garden bed, that garden bed will become infested with strawberries. If you want to dedicate a whole strawberry box in your backyard or wherever in your garden, then go ahead. That's amazing. I honestly would totally do that because I love strawberries so much, and so does my son and my husband. But if you do not want strawberries to take over your backyard, then I do not suggest doing that and doing it in a pot. For my balcony here in my house, this works perfect. So until I have a house one day, then I will get rid of this, but for right now it works perfect. I also have another one right here. This one is my son's, and he also has tons of strawberries growing in his strawberry pot. So we have two of them, lots of strawberries. We have harvested so much already. And then here is a beautiful pot my brother, he painted it. Here, let me give you a better shot. So he painted this pot, and it is Frankenstein with a ton of flowers all over his face. And I love it so much. It just adds to my garden. It is so sweet, and I love it so much. But in here, I did plant an early jalapeno. And then I have another dwarf tomato. This is another orange hat, but I have him right here. This is mandarin lemon balm, and then right here is a house plant. He's just out here right now because I need to water him, but he will be going back inside. And then I'll show you what is on the floor right here. This is just what is on this bench, but then down here there are a few more plants. Here with me. We never should have said. So now down here I do have this pot filled with basil. I did plant some zinnias in here as well, and I definitely do want to get more basil because these are not growing the best. But right here I have some pesto basil, this is globe basil, and then this is cardinal basil, and then I have some marigolds right there. And then in this pot, I have some more calendula. This is a dough heel pepper, and this is like a mini bell pepper, but even smaller than like a mini one, and they're yellow. So I'm excited for this one. I have not grown it before, but now I am. And I have some celery and some more marigolds. So now down in this pot, I did make this bee water. So it's just like a thrifted bowl from the thrift store with some marbles that you can find at the thrift store. You can find them at any store, or you can get them off of Amazon. And then I just fill it up with water, and I also put it on like this post from Lowe's, so it kind of gives it like a rustic vintage look. And then behind it is a tomato. Again, I'm not sure what tomato it is, but there is a tomato, and then celery. All around the border I have onions, and I have basil, a nasturtium, and 2 marigolds. So that is what is in this pot. I've also put some cosmos, some zinnias, and something else, maybe like dill or something, or maybe more basil, but I've put some seeds in here as well. Searching for something that ain't lost. Have we got it? So now over here are all of my mints. I have showed these before. These ones have actually probably been planted for, I don't know, a little over a month. These are like the first things that I planted along with my green stalk. So right here I have Mojito Mint, and she is super tall. She also has like lots of dead leaves. That's just normal when gardening and having mint. You have to harvest from them pretty often, and Mojito Mint, as much as I love mojitos, they are my favorite drink to have during summer months and just a special occasion, and I love them, but I just don't go through a Mojito Mint quick enough. And you also cannot like dehydrate this or freeze dry it or even freeze it because it goes in fresh drinks, and I don't really know how it would be as a tea. I bet it would be delicious. It's a mint, but I don't use it as a tea. I like to use it just fresh. So she is huge, and she does not get used as often as the other ones. And then this is apple mint. I have harvested her recently in one of my older videos where I made some tea. I dehydrate her and then I use her as tea. I also put her in like fresh salads. She is super delicious. I've never had apple mint before in my garden, and I love her. She is just super cute and super fluffy and delicious. So she's growing back. It has taken her a very long time. She has a different stem than other mints here, so she is a little different, and she has taken a lot longer to grow back than the other mint and lemon balm, but I still love her and I use her for tea. Like I said, here is orange mint. She grows back so quickly. I will have to do like another harvest of her, and she is so delicious as a tea. I love using her as like an iced tea with some honey and some like chamomile or lemon balm, because she's so citrusy. She's orange mint, like I said, so super delicious. I love having her. She definitely does still have some dead leaves as well, but that's just what happens when you have mint and herbs and even tomatoes and peppers. They all have some bad leaves. Back here is some peppermint. Again, love using peppermint for tea. That one is a staple during like the cozier months and the colder season. So I do love having the peppermint. I have not harvested her much, but she could definitely use a nice harvest so that she can get bushier, and she just smells so good. And then back here, the last one is lemon balm. I have harvested from this lemon balm probably 4 times, and she grows back so quickly. She is so bushy. She is still trying to grow back from the last harvest, but she could honestly use another harvesting because there is just so much of her. And again, I love using her in tea. I love using her in salads, and she's just super delicious, and she smells so good, so citrusy, and it's just so good for you. All of these things are just so natural and medicinal and just good to have in your garden. The bees, the pollinators, love them. They smell so good, just like going up to them and just rubbing on them. They smell so good, and they're so beautiful, and yeah, they're just great. So this is like my little herb, mint, lemon balm section for my teas. And then I also do have rosemary growing right here. She is huge. She needs some good harvesting as well. I don't know why I have so much white residue on my plants. Like my peppermint, apple mint, and rosemary has so much white stuff on them. I don't know why, but just give them a good rinse. They'll be okay. But yeah, this is my rosemary, and she has grown so much. She is so bushy, and I love using this with all of our dinners. And yeah, just a beautiful garnish. So this is my little section right here. So beautiful, and it's like my little tea garden. I love it. lastly, in this little section over by my garden bed, this is just a pot filled with flowers. So in the middle, I have a dahlia, and I have some grape hyacinths all shooting out. They are definitely past their season. These are spring flowers, and I love to have them in the spring. They're so pretty. They're tubers, just like a dahlia. So they come back, and dahlias should come back, but they don't always come back, especially with some harsh winters. But the great thing about grape hyacinths is that they always do come back. I have some from last year in my garden at my mom's house, and they have come back. And so then I got them for this house, and they have done their time, but they're just so fun. My son loves playing with them because you can just pluck off the little blooms, and he loves to play with them. He knows not to eat them. That is not okay. You do not eat these, even though grape is in the name, but they are just so pretty, and I love that they come back every year. And then I have 2 marigolds, and then I also have a straw flower right here, and then a calendula. So I did have a dahlia that bloomed, but not another one has shot up, and then all the other flowers are still working on growing. But this is just for more pollinators and just more flowers in my garden. I definitely love to have the mix of vegetables and herbs, but then also with flowers. They are just so good for the pollinators, and they make your garden look so beautiful. And they are also cut flowers, so the more that you cut them and pick them, the more that keep blooming all year long. Well, not all year, all summer long. Over here in these white pots that are hanging from my potting bench, these are just flower pots. I have nasturtiums growing out of them that I did from seed. I also have grape hyacinths, zinnias, marigolds, and then I have calendula and flax. And they are just all beautiful flowers. The zinnias are summer flowers, so the more that I pluck them and cut them, the more that will grow. Same with marigolds. Marigolds are so good for peppers, cucumbers, tomatoes, all of them. The pollinators love them, but they also like trap not so beneficial bugs because they're so curly and there's so many petals. And then the grape hyacinths, like I said, they've already done their time, unfortunately. The nasturtiums, you can eat them. They are edible, the flowers and the leaves and even the stem. So those are medicinal and edible, and you can make teas out of them. You can make salt. You could do so many things with them. You could use the flowers to make some body cream and facial cream with them. And then there are flax flowers that have flax seeds to cook with or eat, and then the flowers are just so beautiful. So that is why I have everything in these pots, is just so I have lots of flowers so the pollinators can have them. And then the calendulas, I forgot to mention, they are also edible. You can use them for teas, or you can also turn them into a face cream or a body oil or a lip balm, anything like that. So there is just so many medicinal and herbal and edible flowers and things in this garden. I definitely love to have everything in my garden try to be edible or medicinal in some way, just so I can get the most out of my gardens. Okay, so over here I have more pots. All the way in the back, you can't really see it, but I have another pepper, and that one is a lemon jalapeno. I have more celery, and I also have another calendula. And then in the very back too, you can barely see it, but in that like maroon pot, I have tons of radishes all along the border, and then I have some beans growing in the middle. with the radishes. I'm not a huge radish person just on its own. It's a little spicy and earthy, and I'm not really a fan of that flavor. But pickled with tons of other pickled veggies, with onions, the radish, cucumbers and carrots, and some banana peppers, it is so delicious. I love adding that to our tacos and to our falafel bowls and to many other dishes. I love having pickled veggies. They're also good on nachos. So that is why I grow radishes, is for my pickled veggies. They last for months in the fridge, just like regular pickles do, and they are just so delicious. I love them so much. So I have tons of radishes, and I will just continue planting the radishes as I pick them. They only take about a month until harvest, so they're really easy to grow. You can fit them anywhere, in every pot, in the vegos, in your garden beds, wherever you honestly want, and they will grow. They are a root vegetable, so they grow like carrots, except they only take a month, which is crazy. And then I have beans. I love growing my own beans, so I can have them for dinner, put them in salads, you just cook them up, just eat them plain, whatever. I love having them. So I have contender beans, green beans, and blue lake bush beans, and so those are what's in the pot. And then in the green pot I have a tomato. I'm not sure what tomato that is. It could be another cherry tomato. And then I have 3 calendulas all around it, lemon balm, and then I have some nasturtiums and cosmos and zinnias planted there as well. And then in the bamboo pot I have coleus. I love growing coleus. Coleus is not edible or medicinal or anything like that. That is the one thing that is not, but it is absolutely beautiful in the garden. It's not cold hardy at all, so I have had to buy multiple of them, but they are just so beautiful when they get big and they grow huge, and they're just so pretty with all their colors. There's so many different varieties of coleus, and in my last channel, you can go back to that channel and look at last year's garden, and you will see my coleus from last year. It was so beautiful in the garden. So I have one here in this garden, and I also have one back in my mom's house in that garden as well, because it's just so beautiful. And I also have some nasturtiums popping up in the coleus with it. And nasturtiums, they grow down, so it will be like going down while the coleus goes up. It will just be so pretty. But it's hard to see. So in this black pot, I did make another bee water DIY thing. You saw it in the last clip. Just another bowl with some more marbles on another post, and just for the bees and the pollinators, so that they can get some hydration and water during the summer months since it gets so hot. And then I have 2 cucumbers. These are homemade pickles cucumbers. And then the pot is surrounded with onions and nasturtiums. And then there's marigolds. There is another dwarf tomato. As you can see down here in this little pot, that was the bottom of the dwarf tomato, and then the tip broke off and it grew back, so then I put it in this one. So now I have 2 more orange hat dwarf tomatoes. And then I have this pepper right here. This is a Goldie pepper, and it's another sweet one. It's like sweet and spicy. And then marigolds, and then this was basil, but the basil's dead, so I will need to start more basil. And then just tons of nasturtiums growing up that I started from seed. And then in the middle I put zinnias in the middle of them, and the zinnias that I am growing are the floret flower zinnias, so hopefully they will be absolutely beautiful. I cannot wait to have them and have them in my garden, as well as cut them for inside my house and give as gifts. And then down here in this purple pot I have a fatale pepper, and then 2 marigolds, and then this one I have a banana pepper, calendula, marigold, basil, onions surrounding it. This is a Cosmo that just reseeded itself from last year. And then I also have nasturtiums growing in this one as well. So right here, it's a little harder to see, but these are all peas. I started these ones, I already bought them from a nursery because last year when I did my peas by seed, they did not grow. They did really bad. So this year I just really want peas and a successful way to have peas. And last year too, they were in the sun. I didn't really have a shady spot, where this year this is fully shaded. So that probably is another reason why they are doing so good, because they are like a full shade veggie plant, and they also don't like the sun very much. They like cooler weather, so this is just like a perfect corner for them. And hopefully I can continue planting them and I'll just have them all summer long. That would be an absolute dream. Peas are so delicious fresh. I love them so much, and I love the ones that have like the big peas in a pod, not like mainly the pods that you use in like stir fries. I love the peas themselves. So I have those all trellising up here, and there's flowers, there's little pods on them. So hopefully I will have some success this year. And I also have them right here with these posts. And then down here I have pansies. They're not doing the best. They are spring flowers, but hopefully they will continue since they are in such a colder spot. If they don't continue, then I will just rip them out. Unfortunately, they are annuals, so they will come back every year, but if I rip them out, they will not. But if I have to, I will just put like zinnias and cosmos here. That would just be absolutely beautiful. But if they keep on flowering, then I'll leave them. And then I have more nasturtiums, so I have nasturtiums all around here. And then I also started more peas so that they will grow once these ones die. So hopefully that will work out. But this is my little pea pot area. I'm just so excited for the peas. Okay, so right here is my green stalk. You guys know my green stalk from when we first moved in. I planted all of this with you, but it was originally just all leafy greens and herbs and a couple of flowers. But things have bolted, things have died, so now the spots where I had green leafy greens, they are filled with some new things. So right here I have beans. These are contender beans, and then these ones are Blue Lake bush beans. And then down here I have basil, and I have dill and a banana pepper, which is not spicy at all. And then in the kale right here, and down here are some carrot seeds. And right here I do have more basil, as well as some nasturtiums popping up. This is also a casabella pepper. This one is not spicy at all. It's like a little spicy and then very sweet. So I am excited for this one. And then I do have this beautiful nasturtium growing right here. And the celery is doing amazing. It is huge, as well as this chamomile. And the bell of Ireland is massive. When I first potted this with you guys, it was probably like right here, and now it's much bigger. Same with the oregano. When I first did the oregano, it was this tiny thing. Now it's huge. And then I have more nasturtiums right here with some carrots on the inside. And here is the thyme. The lettuce is massive, as you can see. Here is more chamomile. Here is a calendula. And like I said, in here I do have onions, carrots, radishes, beans, peppers, flowers, and herbs, and celery, and leafy greens. There is so much to find in this green stalk, and I'm definitely putting it to its max. I'm hoping that will all be good, and I'm trying to see how like the peppers will grow, how the flowers will grow, how the nasturtiums will grow, how the carrots and the onions will grow, the chamomile, the bells of Ireland, just all of it. I'm really excited, but this is how it is all looking. It's honestly looking so beautiful. Liking for you is all I